Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Squeegee podcast. I am your host, Gabe Gutierrez. I am so happy to have a friend here, Dan Fris, here to help us talk about meta ad. That's going to be the theme of our discussion here today. But first of all, how you doing, Dan? How's everything going?
Things are going great, Gabe. It's a beautiful day in Colorado.
Excellent. Excellent. That's what we like to hear. So in Colorado, what's the weather like right now?
We've got 80 degrees, somewhere between 80 to 90. Thankfully, it can push up into 95 this time of year during the day, but
Right.
it's been nice.
Right.
No rain. We probably need the rain, but it's all good either way. So
Right. That's where we're at. We had a big rain here in Tucson, about a week ago, and everyone was like, all right, the monsoons are here, and it's been nothing since, which I'm fine with because, we can't work during the rain, so we're glad when we have some sunny weather. We can kind of sneak in some jobs while we have the sunshine out, so that's good. But anyways, why don't we kind of get to know you a little better, Dan? Tell us a little bit about Radiant Window Cleaning, where you're from, your company that you run in Colorado, and how you got started in windows and all that jazz.
Yeah, you bet. So it was 2018 when I started my business. Started with a bucket and a couple squeegees. I really had zero idea what I was doing. Just a few good people on YouTube that I'd been following for a little bit to get some info on how window cleaning worked and what it might look like as a business. Previous to that, for about 15 years or so, it's hard to keep track now because it's been a while. I was involved in web development, brand development, web app development, and I was freelance for companies all over the nation. So I was kind of I was their secret weapon. A few of them have referred to me as, not self-described in any way, but they would bring me in when they'd have problems they couldn't solve, technical issues, or just trying to get people moving in a direction and they couldn't move on a project. And I'd help them. The thing that switched my career was, in that previous career, I developed, because I was freelance, an alcohol and drug problem. And
Kidding.
Yeah, it took over my life, and it ultimately destroyed my life, and my life completely exploded. And in that process, man, I decided I need help, and I got help. I asked God for help, and I asked Him to rescue me. And in that process, I realized my previous career was tied to all these bad habits, and I was going to have to separate completely from that. And I started looking at window cleaning. That was an answer that came through prayer. I didn't understand why. I really had no interest in anything like that. Totally different environment. And I started looking at it. My wife encouraged me to take the step, grab that bucket from Home Depot, grab some squeegees and some soap for $150, and started knocking on doors. So that's how Radiant started. Yeah.
So you were married during this time when you were struggling with alcohol and addiction.
Actually, I was not married at that point in time. There's a time lapse there that I didn't really describe really well. I was in a different relationship, and I had a couple of kids at that point in my life. But in giving my life to God, God changed a lot of things rapidly. I've been sober now for completely sober for over 8 years. And I got married to a Christian woman, and we've seen God do a lot of things in the business. But yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, man. I'm glad that you're able to pull out of that. That's a scary thing sometimes. But if you do have a focus, like a higher power, that really helps a lot. I know a lot of people. My father-in-law struggled with that for most of his life before he passed away. He ended up dying of liver cancer, due to alcoholism. And it's a hard thing, man, because it's like I've heard people say, oh, it's not, they say alcoholism is a disease, and they're like, oh, it's not a disease. And certainly there is a certain amount of accountability that you have to take yourself for sure, 100%. But it rewires your brain. It changes the way you think. It changes what you desire, what your body is telling you that it needs, And I learned a lot with him and his battle. But I'm glad that you came out the other end strong, man. That's awesome. You've seen it in your growth and everything that you've done. So that's good. I'm glad that you've been blessed that way. That's really awesome.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, hey, so Radiant, it's been how long have you been running it?
So this will be year 8. We're in year 8. And we've come a long way. We came from that one bucket and an old Chevy Colorado. We've got 3 trucks. We're adding a 4th truck this week.
Nice.
We've got 2 locations. We have a location 8 hours away from the Front Range of Colorado, which is our main area. And we started this other location because my wife's family's from that zone, and I've always looked at it as I've traveled back and forth multiple times a year. So we have a guy operating there, and it's just been a crazy year, man. We've grown a lot in the last 3 years. So,
wow, that's great. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your plans? Is this about the size you want to stay? Do you have plans of expanding even further, or what are you looking at?
Well, we're trying to evaluate this new location, and honestly, we've got our eye on three other locations that we're going to try and bootstrap this year. And my philosophy is always, if you see something working, go for it, push hard, lean into that thing that is working, and see how far it can go. And if you have a big goal, you may not hit that big goal, but if you push for it, you're still going to end up, even if your goal ends up where you actually arrive is only halfway there, it's still a better place. And you learn a lot, and it just makes you even more equipped for the next season to go further. So that's kind of how I've been looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you looking? What kind of, is it KPIs? Is it what are you looking for to know if something's working or not?
I'm very, this isn't necessarily what everybody should look for, but I'm very response driven. So whether it's marketing or just being in someone's home doing a cleaning, I want to see a response to how well we did the cleaning. The customer's smiling, they're thanking you. You can see an emotional reaction on their face from what you've done for them, compliments, reviews, that sort of thing. And you want to take it further and go at looking at the new location. How quick can we get leads coming in? How easy is it to get your name in front of people, and how many people are responding to the marketing that you're doing? That's a big deal. For instance, in Durango, we really had no idea. This is our second location. We had no idea. We had a guy on the ground that had been cleaning for the last 3 years on his own as a college student. And I had met him and kind of had a couple conversations with him. But I talked to him this year, and I asked him, would you like to clean for me? And we'll work out an arrangement with pay, and there'll be some profit in there. And for whatever reason, he was excited to do it. And within him saying yes, within 5 days, I had ads running and we had work coming in. So that was, that tells me we made the right decision. We had the right guy at the right time. The foundation is there. We can see a response coming in from the public that they're wanting window cleaning. It just kind of validates that that's a good thing. And now we're leaning into it to see how far we can push it. Yeah.
I always find that interesting. Everyone has different ideas of like, okay, this means it's good. I'm a super conservative person. Like I don't go for, I like test the waters, like get in with the
Yes.
lambskin. I'm doing like 3 or 4 times before I kind of want to jump into it. So this, which we'll talk about a little later, this other town that we went into, that was the most, I wouldn't say it was impulsive, because it wasn't impulsive. We had leads, we had stuff to go into it, but I moved way faster on that than I have on anything I've ever done in my business. I'm very careful. I'm very calculated. I do a lot of testing before we go full, into something. So I'm always curious as to what kind of things people look for when it comes to, okay, this is now worth putting more money and more time and energy into to kind of grow this part of the business. Because I wouldn't even say unsure as much as aware of all the things that can go wrong.
Totally.
So I'm always trying to minimize risk when it comes to that type of thing. So that's pretty cool. Are there any KPIs you're looking at? Are there any type of signals or like are you looking to get a certain amount of leads or that you kind of look to?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at what's the return on ad spend, basically. If I spend $100, do I get between 600 and 1,000 back? If I have a well-trained individual that's able to handle the cleanings, can I send them out and remain profitable? And does it make sense to put more money in it and just keep feeding that machine if that machine says go? So this is marketing. We're talking about marketing specifically. The other KPIs I took on this year was I have to know as much about my business, the revenue, the profit, my expenses, my average ticket, my revenue per hour per guy, whether my solo crews how do they compare to my team crews in terms of revenue. And I used AI to help me figure that all out at the beginning of the year and set up a system that tracks my jobs and tells me these things on literally almost in a live scenario. So I have an app I can pull up. I can see all those numbers as they're actually happening. That probably made me way more confident in opening that location, because I just saw the power that was behind those numbers. And those numbers were incredibly clear to me, and just said, if that location, those numbers meet what's going on here, and maybe it's going to need some fine tuning and you're going to have different problems, but if it's close on some of this stuff, just go for it. And at worst, you lose a little bit of marketing money. He already had a vehicle, so it's not like I invested thousands of dollars or anything like that. It was very low risk as well. So
yeah. So tell me, I don't know how much detail you can go into, but tell me about this AI program that's running scenarios. Is that something you designed?
So my background, as I mentioned before, technological. I was a programmer. I knew how to build programmatic systems and web apps. But I saw Claude make a shift in their offering, Claude AI, where the programming product that they had that will code for you and build apps for you. Exponentially.
Sorry, we lost you for just a second there, Dan. If you could,
it's all good.
Repeat what you just said right now. It was just about 5 seconds.
It's all good. So I saw AI make a shift where you could tell it what problem you wanted it to solve, and it would program a solution for you. Okay. So I put my time in that during our slow season in February, and just said, hey, I just started with a simple app. I want to be able to disseminate jobs to my techs, and I want to be able to see how they're moving through a job. So I made it track checklists of progress and all that stuff. And I just kept working on it over the matter of, 3-4 months. And I got all that data in there, and had it started spitting out reports and all that stuff. So it is something that I made in combination with Claude AI. And
interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to pick your brain about that later because that sounds really interesting, and maybe I can be an add-on to your service, your Metas training service. But
Yes, sir.
that's really why I wanted to bring you on. So you have a program called the Shortcut,
Yep.
and it's meta training. It's meant to be able to help a single, or I should say single, it could be any business owner really, but a business owner like myself, because I think I'm the perfect customer for your product because um, I want to do Facebook ads, but I also don't want to pay someone $600 to run my Facebook ads, and it always seems like I don't know about you, I hate not having control.
Totally.
I hate not being able to, I paying somebody and they're saying, here you go, here's your leads. Aren't these great? And it's like $60 a lead. And I'm like, not really. Well,
Yeah.
that's really good for this market. You should be really happy with this. And they're telling me I should be happy with something that I'm like, I stopped running them. For a long time I ran them and it had pretty good success, pretty good, leads. But even at my best, it was about $30 to $40 a lead.
Yeah.
But to me, that was pretty good. And then it just got to where Facebook ads were kind of saturated in my area, and I just thought, nah, I don't want to pay someone money to run to be paying $60 per lead.
Yeah.
I just ditched it.
Yeah.
And then I saw you had posted a few times about it into the Flow group. I thought about it, mulled it over. We talked over the phone. You kind of shared a little bit about what it was.
Yeah.
Like anybody, I took some time to think about it. And then finally, when we got to this opportunity to move into this other area, I thought, well, this is probably the right time because now I can test it here. And even if I don't do great, I'll learn how to run Facebook ads myself, which I've always struggled with. Every time I've run them, I've had miserable results and I've always been upset.
Yeah.
But I have this thing with wanting to have the control, right? So,
Totally.
it just seemed like it was a perfect fit. So, tell us about what the Shortcut is,
Yeah.
why it's kind of why you came up with it yourself, and because you used it yourself first, right, before you started
Correct.
selling it, and then just kind of the evolution of that, to how you fine-tuned it to get it to where it's at now.
Yeah. So I had no intention of building a training like that was not on my radar. I wasn't looking to do consulting or anything like that or be some meta ads guru. I'm just a business owner, and I knew that I needed to scale my business just because of where I'm at in life. I'm 50, past career crashed. I want to retire. I want to sell my business, so I want it to grow. And so I've tried a lot of things. I've tried running meta. I had tried meta ads. You boost a post, or you post a reel, and meta tells you, "Hey, spend some money on this. It'll get tons of reactions or whatever." And yeah, you get some likes. You hardly get comments, but it doesn't really do. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't bring you revenue. It might build a little bit of awareness, but everybody is so distracted with life that it just doesn't seem to produce anything. Our other channels, we have a few other good channels that deliver revenue and leads. But I'm sitting here listening to people say, hey, Meta is a really good place to get leads. All these other window cleaners are using it, or Christmas light guys, or pressure washers, and they're having revenue generated, and I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
So I hired somebody last year. I joined a training. I think I spent like $6,000, and this guy convinced me that everything, was going to be awesome. Basically, in short, and it was so complicated. Like I could not. I'm too busy. Like I could not sit there and get through the training. I couldn't figure it out. I could get on calls with in group calls, but I couldn't really get my questions answered the right way. You didn't have one-on-one time. So I just let it die last year and figured out I lost some money. I made a bad decision. That sucks. So this year, I started really looking at how do you do this, and I did some research. I started playing around with it. I had a friend that had it figured out to a degree, and I said, "Man, I'll just pay you. I've already spent a ton of money, but what do you want to help me with this a little bit?" And he showed me a few things, a few crucial parts, and I got some decent results from it. And then once I started looking at some of these settings in Meta and what I was shown, it was like my head kind of exploded. I started tweaking it, testing it, just running little tests here and there to figure it out. And all of a sudden, I had an ad in April that was generating 12x on what I would spend. So I'd spend $100
Wow.
and get 1,200 out of it. In terms of revenue, closed leads, I had an 80% close rate on the leads, and I was like, "This is awesome." So I
Wow.
kept that thing running, and over the course of 30 days, it delivered quite a lot of revenue, upwards of 15,000, I think.
Wow.
And for me, going from nothing on Meta, as a dead channel, that was a big deal. So, I continued to tweak it, worked on making it so that I could hand it to one of my employees if I needed to promote them into the office. So that I could say, here's the training, here's the documents, just do X, Y, Z. Make the video like this, set it up in the campaign with these settings, don't do all this other stuff, and you'll have an ad that will produce leads, and the business can thrive from that. So that's kind of how it evolved, if you want to say.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so just so you guys, I know he danced that a lot right there. I'm going to tell you the gold is in the settings, because that is always where I got tripped up, because Facebook has all kinds of quote unquote helpful things to help you get your ad visible, right? And nothing is more frustrating than you have an ad, it's getting $30, $40 per lead, and you're like, I gotta get this better, and so I'm gonna try and tweak this, and I'm gonna try and tweak this, and then you do it, and then it turns worse, and you're like, no, and then you're trying to get it back to what it was, and it's just not, and it doesn't respond. Why it's called the shortcut is because Dan tells you everything you don't want to mess with. Don't touch this. Don't mess with this. Don't change this. Don't adjust this. And then focus on these things. And I think that's where the value in the training is, because I know for me, I running this ad, I was not intimidated at all, which I've always been, like, kind of that little queasy feeling in your stomach, like, oh, should I do this? Should I do this? And then every day you get the $40 spent, and you're like, oh, I'm not getting any leads. You just see this little piggy bank upside down with all the coins falling out. And so that's what it's designed to do, is to kind of let you know, for what we do as window cleaners, the specific audience we're trying to reach. There's some things that we don't need to mess with it. Just don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Better off. So that's what I valued from the training after all. But anyway, so you've got this training now, and you've got it kind of perfected. When did it go into this thing like, well, I should teach other people this?
It's just I want twofold. I wanted to help people, other business owners, because I know the struggle, man. I'm just a normal guy with 2 kids, a wife, hardly any retirement, putting everything I got into the business. I know how it feels.
Okay.
And I thought that there's no way that if this is this good that I shouldn't share it. So that's why. The other reason is, it's just, it just would be a shame to not disseminate it to people and to see it out there working. I want, it's not done. I want to have other people using it, get more information from the people that I work with. I want to tweak it. I want to make it better. I want to see where it goes. The thing with Meta is they change their algorithm every 4 days. They make some change. Maybe it's small, maybe it's big, but there's constant tweaks to how that thing works. And, you know, they're going to change it in a major way at some point again. So I want to stay on top of it and have it figured out for my own organization, but also for other people that I'm working with. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's that you're kind of, you're training the how you kind of guide us is very helpful too. I think we're in control, but you're kind of helping us to and explain. For me, I have to know why something is right,
Sure.
or why I'm doing a thing, and otherwise I won't remember it. So you did a really nice job of kind of helping me understand why this is important, how this is set up. So just having that someone to kind of, I guess that's what I like about it is you didn't just show us a video and say do this and this and this, and then we're kind of left to our own devices to try and figure out if we can understand that. You're there kind of holding our hand, at least at the beginning, and then you're there for later if we have questions, you know, and we can get that guidance. So
that's right.
Anyways, really, really good. So anyways, that's the product. Okay. And I guess I want to just take this time real quick. I really don't want this podcast to be a commercial for the shortcut. That's not the intention of it. I know it's coming across as that. Dan is working with Squeegee U. As soon as I saw my results, I'm like, dude, I gotta have you. You gotta be part of us, because I just was really excited about it. So there is that connection there. Okay, so I just want to be upfront and honest with that. That being said, so I'm going to show you my results, and this is why I'm excited about it. Now, these are my results. That doesn't mean it's going to be your results. You should view this class as an investment in the future, that you're going to save the money from having to pay somebody else to run your ads for you. So that's what you're buying, is your ability to run your own ads and to cut out the middleman of having another agency to do that. But this is what we have. So I explained before in another podcast, we just recently went out to another area. It's 3 little communities kind of close together. We had a list of leads, but I needed to get more, and so that's the whole reason why I took his course, was so I could do some Facebook ads and run it in this town to help me grow this new customer base that I didn't have any clients in. So it started on June 5th is the start date of this campaign. So what is that? 15,
17, 18
so
days ago.
18 days. Okay, so this is 18 days of data here, and we'll go ahead. So Dan, when I share a screen, it'll automatically mute us. So if you want to say something, just make sure you unmute yourself, okay?
Got it.
So here is this Pine Top Lakeside Show. That's the area I'm in. So as you can see, 50 leads, $15 a lead. I have never had a Facebook campaign that has run that long. So you can see I've made, now you're going to see this is 44, which is actually, it's 43 leads here that I've had. So I've made 5,500 from those 44. I've actually had, if you can see, I've actually had 50 leads. So since I did that report, I've gained 6 more leads on that. So we closed on 2 of them. The other 4 we're still working on. I don't have the data on that, but as you can see, just in those few weeks, we've already made most of this we've made. Some of them are on the schedule this week, but 5,500 are enclosed. Now that's not counting the neighbors, because in this community it's a ton of, hey, give my neighbor a quote while you're here, or if they like you, they're going to refer you out to their friends and family. So we've got a bunch of work that way as well that's not included in these stats. So I mean, for 17 days, geez, I've never had a campaign produce that. And also So we've spent just over $700 to make that. That's about what we've had so far in this campaign. So yeah, I mean, so our close rate could be better. I think we're like about 65% of our close rate. With this community, it just seems like, one of the things Dan teaches you is you got to call right as soon as that ad or that lead comes in, you got to call, follow up right away. A lot of them are hard to reach. A lot of times we call and they've got the preset, tell us what you're calling about,
Yeah.
So it's been a little challenging in this community. Usually in Tucson, we get a hold of people pretty quick, but over there, it's a little harder to kind of close the deal. But I mean, still with 65% of leads closed and we had that much income, I've been super impressed with it. It's been exactly what, in fact, I was just telling another guy that, we're slower than normal in Tucson right now. And if I didn't have this, I mean, we're still, don't get me wrong, it's still tough right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're still kind of very close, very, as they say, what is it? I forget the phrase anyways, but we're really close as far as making our payroll and everything. But if we didn't have this, campaign running, I mean, we would be in such a more difficult situation, So at least we have this campaign running. We have regular jobs coming into this area that's keeping us afloat, so it's buying us time till we can get things going again in Tucson. So anyways, I'm super impressed with the results, Dan. So tell us a little bit about how is that normal in yours, or what's kind of the range that you see people having with these types of ads so far?
I mean, in my experience, 15 days, if you're in a good market, you should get somewhere between, how many leads did you say you had?
I had 50.
50. So that's good. You should be somewhere between 40 and 80, I would say, somewhere in there. And there's such a drastic difference. It depends on the market. Your close rate, 60%. Most lead channels, if your pricing is right, your close rate often will be lower than that. So that's great.
Okay.
We've seen anywhere, I think our Durango location, the close rate is like 68. And over here on the Front Range, our close rate is up at 80. What's the difference? It's hard to say, man. It's just the demeanor of the people in the location sometimes is the difference. But yeah, you should see on average somewhere between a 6 to 10x return on ad spend. And if I told you, hey, I've got a machine that if you put $1 in, you're gonna get 6 back or 10 back, how often are you going to put $1 in that machine? That's kind of where it's at. So you're doing really good.
And that's about where I'm at. I'm right about 6 times what I've spent on ad spend.
Yep.
So,
and there's ways to scale it, but for you, what makes me feel good, Gabe, is you went somewhere new. You needed to go somewhere new, and it's helping your business, and you're seeing a good result, and that's amazing. So yeah.
But I've just never seen that. I've never had that. One, I've never had the results, and I've never felt the control, which I need for myself. I hate handing it to a stranger, hey, here's my money, take it, and please make me more. That's scary. And to know that I'm in control, I have some guidelines that as long as I stick within these guidelines, I'm going to have an effective campaign. It gives me a lot of security on that. And I think that's really what you're buying. So again, these are my results. Dan says that's kind of common around the average, but don't buy it just to expect to just buy it, because now you are empowered to be able to have control over your meta training. That's how you have to view it, as that investment in, hey, I'm cutting out. I am becoming the person that I was paying $900 a month to run ads, or $600 a month, or whatever it was, and I'm investing that right back into the company instead of paying another outside business to do that. Yeah. So, anyways, thanks again, and that's why I moved on this. It's like I don't I don't like to just latch on to people and try to promote it to kind of make myself big. But this, I was just like blown away by this, and that's why I've talked about it so much, and I'm excited about it. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's it. I don't want to come across as like a used car salesman too much. I think the product speaks for itself. I don't have to do that. But anyways, that's why I really wanted to bring you on.
Yeah.
So what has been your response for the people who have taken your course so far?
The response has been good. It's we haven't had anyone not see results. We haven't had anyone not make their money back on the training within the first month. It's been good, man. People generally feel empowered. I think there's a lot of wariness out there, and rightfully so, because you have a whole industry built on people saying they're meta ads gurus and agencies, and they're charging thousands, somewhere between, you can find some for $500 a month, but you can find some for $2,500 a month. And then you've got your ad spend on top of that. So people have been burned, they've been bit, they're confused, they don't know how to do it. And anyone can do this. This is not, excuse me, this is not beyond anyone. You don't really have to be super technological. So yeah. So
no,
the response,
I do appreciate
the response is good.
Good. So I'm sure some of you guys are wondering, well, how much is the training? So we just want to let you guys know right off the top. So it's $2,500 for the training. So it is an investment. It's not something that you can just, pull out of your wallet. Well, maybe some of you guys, I don't know how rich you guys are, but I certainly couldn't pull $2,500 out of my wallet. It's an investment. It's meant to, and you're investing in your business with seeing hopefully it will pay back soon. As you can see, I got paid back within 17 days and over and more than it. I made up what I paid in that investment. So I was super happy with that. But yeah, you don't want to take a gamble on it if you're, right on the edge where you if you spend this money, it's going to hurt your business. Maybe wait a little bit, wait till you get to your busy season, and you have a little more capital to invest. Be smart about it. It's not a magic pill. But I just, for someone in my position, I have crews. I need more work than just a single owner operator. I want to keep my guys working. But I also don't want to pay, $600 to $900 a month with med ads. So it just fit me perfectly. So if it fits if you're a right fit, you can meet with Dan for free just to talk with him, go over some information, he can fill you in how it works. And then if you decide it's a good fit, it's $2,500. And like I said, man, I made it up within 2 weeks. I made it up, and now I'm already seeing way more than that. So, and that's counting the ad spend on top of the class. I've covered it. So that's great. All right. So that's for that part. Now I did want to leave or end the podcast with you sharing some tips on stuff that we can do for free. Because obviously not everyone's going to be in a position to drop $2,500 to take the class, but we want them to go home with some tips that can help them where if they don't have any ad income, what can they do on Facebook that can help them to have an effective campaign where they can go get some new customers without having to spend a ton of money?
Yeah. The big thing is being visible in a very distracted world. So thinking like what is going to stop someone and get them to pay attention to you and what you're doing and what you can do for them. And one way to do that is to tell a story about yourself, about your business, about why you do it, about your day-to-day things, surprising things that you find when you're cleaning windows or what have you, gutters or whatever. And one way you can get good traction for free is join the local city groups. Hey, what's going on wherever you're located, Tucson group, and go to AI if you need help writing a story. But make a series of posts that talk about who you are and why you do what you do, and tell a story about what happened to you while you were out cleaning windows one day, the reaction that you got from a customer, how dirty the windows were and how clean you made them. This is really simple stuff, but it goes so far. And if you do that, if you post daily, even if you don't get a response, but if people see your face and they read your social posts, your story posts, and you just keep posting every day, consistently, doesn't matter if you're getting a response or not, you're going to become more and more visible, and people are going to see your post next time and be like, man, that looks familiar. It's almost like you have to drag people into paying attention. And when you do that over time in those groups, you'll get jobs out of it for free, and people will be really excited about it. The location that we started in Durango, before we started Meta Ads, I had AI. I went to AI and I said, interview my guy, Matthew, about window cleaning and create a 2-week daily story post set of posts. So he went in and he answered some questions, and AI just made this series of posts that he could copy and paste and put in the groups every day. And we've gotten at least the same amount of jobs out of that as we have Meta Ads, but it seems also like they're working together. So same location, people are seeing the ad, people are seeing the story, they're kind of seeing a lot of that same content work together and seal the deal on whether they want to use you or not. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Okay, so here's a big question. Have you figured out a way to automate the posting in all the different groups? Because that is a nightmare, because Tucson has so many groups, and even Pine Top Lakeside, that area, they surprisingly, for being a small community, I mean, they've got like 50 groups that I joined, and I'm posting in there, trying to get new work and stuff. But it is a drag. I mean, it's a lot of work. Have you figured out a way to automate that yet?
I have. It is a higher cost. Claude AI is your best tool, man. It has a tool where you can say, I want you to open the browser, go to my Facebook page, and post. You feed it the story script. I want you to post from these posts every day in these groups, and it will literally open. It'll travel to the browser, open
Are
the
you
browser,
serious?
log in as you give it the bank of stories and the bank of pictures, and it'll
Okay.
make the post for you.
Okay. So I pay for Chat GPT. That's what I've done it since the beginning. So I should cancel Chat GPT and buy Claude, then, is what you're saying.
I mean, you can keep Chat GPT. You don't have to cancel it, but you probably should.
I'm going to cancel it. I'm only paying for one. I'm not paying for two AI chatbots.
Yeah.
I'm going to just pay for one. But I've heard several people for that type of kind of programming or task doing, that Claude seems to be superior at this point.
Right now, that's where it's at. We have it doing a lot here. We have it checking our Google LSA account. So when a lead comes in, normally, listen, the last 6 months, I've had my phone glued to my face, and my family is disgusted by it. But this thing checks Google LSA.
We have that in common there.
Yeah, man. It checks LSA. When a lead comes in, it starts talking like it's me to the lead, and it starts carrying on this conversation. Wow. And I've got it where it'll get the customer from, I want window cleaning, to having them get their pane count, give me their email address, their phone number, all the info I need to do a quote, and then I just step in at the end and do the quote. And it's doing that in the background all day. So
wow.
Dude, this is an amazing time to be alive. If you're not using AI, you should start exploring it. And I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has on it if it helps you. So
awesome. Yeah. Well, I will be hitting you up on that information 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So now can you talk, so you talked a little bit about the story and that the story is important. Can you talk about some of the tips on videos? Because you had some really good advice, and I adapted it right away, and I saw some results. So I want to post in a like you say, one of these groups. But what do we always see, right? Same thing, same guy cleaning windows, blah blah blah. I'm the best. Hey, hire me, blah blah blah. So how do you stand out with the videos?
If it depends if you're doing story or you're doing ad. And if you're doing ad, we get into that in the training. And the big
Yeah,
tip is to get right to the offer, name the location, and have footage of you working. So that's a big deal. If you don't have any footage of you actually cleaning windows, let's just stick to window cleaning. You want footage of you cleaning the outside of the window. You want to be able to see your hands doing the work. You want to see you cleaning tracks, cleaning screens, cleaning the inside, pulling hose out of your truck, that kind of stuff. It's called B-roll, right? You want to have short little clips of that banked. So when you're working, you want to be building up those clips. Even if you did the same clip the day before, you just want to have multiple clips as you're working. Whatever you can do to get that is a big deal. Um,
yeah.
yeah, if you're telling a story,
So kind of like B-roll is what you're saying, right?
yeah, it is B-roll. Yeah, it's just supportive footage that shows that you're actually doing the work. And
Yeah.
what people are really attracted to is not fancy footage, high like quality production. They're attracted to a real person that actually owns the company or actually works for the company, and that your brand is visible, and they know with confidence that you're an actual person doing the work and that you're competent at what you do.
Yeah.
That's the message you're trying to get across, and all that stuff works together to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say in this experience, because I've always posted in groups and stuff in Facebook, but just not often for Tucson anyways, because like I said, it's so much, it's just overwhelming. But because we're focusing on this little town or this little area, I have been really making it, really trying to have a regular schedule posting in all these groups. There's I find it interesting. They will tolerate AI pictures, but people hate AI videos.
Yeah.
And if you have an AI video commercial, people hate it. They hate it so much.
Yeah.
And so your advice to be real and just talk to the camera and just be natural. And if you say whatever, it's like, don't even worry about it. It makes you appear more real to them.
Yeah.
People like that because they feel like you're an actual human, as opposed to this polished AI video that people are just really, there's just really been a backlash to that, at least from the commercial side. I think for entertainment purposes, people are okay with it for the most part.
Right.
But for advertising, I've just seen that because I'm not only posting mine, I'm looking at what other people, not just window clean, other people in other industries are posting in there. And every time there's an AI video of some sort, all the comments are like, oh, AI slop, oh, AI this, oh, and so I think it's really good advice right now when it comes to the video portion of it,
Yeah.
And I've had some pushback on even the AI pictures. I did one a while back on when they had the whole like the scribbling, the little multiple images of you on a paper that was kind of big
Collage.
for about like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, collage. It was literally, it was a throwaway. I just put it in there because I was just saying, hey guys, we're having a deal this week, whatever. I just threw it in there just because I thought it'd be fun. And I had people like, oh, this is AI. Why do you have that here? And I thought, oh, come on.
Right.
This isn't even a real ad. I just threw that in there to get attention. I didn't realize I was going to trigger anything, so people are kind of weird like that.
You're catching something really important, because it's all about trust. And you have to go with what people are identifying as what they trust and what they don't. For whatever reason, AI is making more people fearful and worried, and so it just results like they can tell it, they can sniff it out. So it's an advantage that you can take advantage of, and it's a good advantage. Like, we're real people.
Yeah.
We're real. We don't have to hide behind an AI image. Just show yourself and be who you are. Yeah. So
yeah,
big deal.
Yeah. Yep. And I think it was kind of, in the past, it was like stock footage, you know, people would use stock footage in their commercial, and then they show up and they look nothing like that handsome guy that was doing the work in the video. Right.
Totally.
And so people are like, oh, stock footage, I don't like it. And that's transferred out over now to AI. But I think even to more so, like, there's even more anger just for what you said. You know, there's uncertainty, there's kind of those feelings of like, oh, I don't trust this. Are the robots going to come and take over the world or take our jobs or whatever? So that kind of vague fear is kind of even making it even a little more intense. So
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that's good. Really good advice. Anything else? We've got about 8 minutes left. Any other tips you want to throw in before we close up shop?
Man, just film your videos. Get used to talking on a camera and not being perfect. Meta is rewarding video content, whether it's paid or otherwise. It's all about making videos, and you can do it with your phone. You don't need a fancy thing. You can buy a $30 phone tripod off Amazon if you want to set it up and film yourself doing a time lapse or something like that. But most of it can just be selfie stuff. You can hold your phone or have someone hold the phone for you and film yourself. It's making a bank of content that you can use across different things is extremely valuable. I wish I had started doing it earlier, and I still don't have enough. So it's a big deal, but yeah.
Yeah, we signed up with WCR Marketing for their Facebook, or not Facebook, I'm sorry, the Google My Business page listing boosting thing. You know, it's pretty inexpensive, but that was one of the things that I learned was I thought I had a ton of pictures and videos and stuff. I didn't have nearly enough. So that was like, hey, everybody, if you're in the field, you need to take 3 pictures and 1 video every single day. And we finally got stocked up where now we're booked out pretty far. But yeah, I didn't realize that we were so low on usable photos and videos. So yeah, that's a good advice to everybody here. If you don't have that, start stocking up now. Just do every single day. Just do 1 or 2. Just start banking those, and then you can start using those for posts later on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, just be real. Take good care of your customers, and wherever your face is showing up, just be authentic, whether it's online or offline or whatever, man. Yeah. So, and join Squeegee U. They'll help you.
Yeah, good advice. That's what I say.
That's right.
Yeah, but yeah. So if you want more information on Dan Fris's program, how's the best way to get a hold of you?
I'll post a link in here, but you can DM me. You can find me. I'll just give you my number, 970-215-4118. Send me a text. Find me on Facebook, Dan Fris, Radiant Window Cleaning, Colorado. I'll see if I can get my Calendly link for intro consultation in this chat so that it's visible.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Put it in there. Yeah. Put it in there, and he's super responsive. I mean, Dan and I, we've never met in person. We've known each other through the Into the Flow group, but anytime I needed to chat with him, he was real quick to respond, which is always helpful because some people you message and then maybe a week later, like, oh, I didn't see your text. And, oh, okay, thanks, man. Sorry, I already took care of whatever it was, Yep. So Dan's pretty responsive, but hopefully some of the stuff in this video is of use to you guys. Also, just like I said, when it comes to the program, please view it as an investment. That's the way you got to look at it. What you're doing is you're gaining a tool that you can use over and over again in the future. Right. So just keep that in mind. And, like I said, I'm always any tool you get, whether it's water fed system, whether it's a new vehicle, count the cost, make sure that you are in a position to spend that. But if you are man, it's been one of the best investments I've made, and just really appreciative of that. So thank you, Dan. I appreciate you coming in, man. Wish you well, and excited for your growth as well. So please keep us posted, both in the ITF group and then in the Window Cleaning Nation group. Just anytime I see your posts, and you're sharing something, it's exciting. So, was it your son that started working with you?
Yeah, that's probably, talk about cool stuff. So my son's 15 and we got him in the truck this summer. And the guys are turning him into a window cleaner. I did a little bit of the pre-foundation work, but I figured I'd let them mold him so that it wasn't me that would get in trouble for doing so.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. No, but it's so cool, man. It's so cool to have a business and see your kid working in it. That's an amazing thing. So yeah,
that's my dream. I don't think it's going to happen. My daughter's pretty set on being a scientist of some sort. So, but I told her she still has to learn how to clean windows, regardless if she's a neurosurgeon. She's going to learn how to handle a squeegee before she leaves the house. So
yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you again so much. And again, if you guys want to get more information about the shortcut meta training, reach out to Dan. And if you have any other questions, you can just feel free to post or comment here. Even if you're watching this later, comment in the group. We get alerts and we can definitely answer those questions.
Real quick.
Did you have another thing, Dan?
Yeah, real quick. Anybody who made it this far, if you do end up wanting to do the training, $500 off. We'll get you $500.
Whoa, look at that. So. $500 offer from Squeegee U. Thank you. You're welcome.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Gabe.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. Let me just give a few shout out to people who've listened, because I usually do this in the middle, but we were just talking so much. I didn't get a chance to thank everyone for listening. So we have Tyler Blue, he's actually here in Tucson. We met in person because he won one of our little drawings that we have every so often. And so he's a good guy. I was glad that he's checked in. Squeegee Chick. So everybody, next week, I get the Squeegee Chick herself to come in to Squeegee U. She is going to be Jessica. She's going to come in and be our interview next week. So we look forward to that. Finally, we get to meet up with her. I know she's been really busy in her area, so she hasn't been able to meet up, but I'm excited for that. Charles D. Smith popped in. Usually he's one of those guys that right at the end, he says, hey, everybody, sorry I missed it, but he got to hear a little bit of this live. Nick Anderson, Adam Hogan, JMJ Contract Cal. So those are John Trotta. So we appreciate everybody who popped in and said hi. We look forward to next week. But again, thank you, Dan, for your time, bud, and wish you well. And we'll catch you later.
Adios.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week.